Yeah, your arrows just exploded.
What kind of damage did they do, though?
Explosive. Yeah, anywho, the Frostwind Virago looks up and is positively enraged.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Everyone roll another reflex save. Roll will save.
Will save. Okay.
Alright. I will do that. It's not enough.
Ooh, all of you are stunned.
Difficult.
Yeah, the Frostwind Virago looks like she's moving towards Jaden. It's like, I've had enough of this. She's about to lay her hands upon the stunned snake when all of a sudden a deep rumbling comes from the castle and something bursts in.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
Oh boy.
Oh!
Hello!
A giant white dragon bursts in and lets out a guttural roar as it bites the Frostwind Virago and devours her whole.
Nice.
Dear.
Oh, wow.
Hi.
Okay.
Amber?
Am I unstunned, DM?
Mine. Not hers. Mine.
Ooh.
What?
Amber, you want to talk to him?
I approach. Do you understand me?
He looks at you. Yes.
Thank you.
You see the white dragon give a small chuckle. It's the least I could do.
Who are you?
Who?
Owen.
Yeah.
Who am I? My name is Virag. I am a relatively adult white dragon, as you can see. But I thought my good looks would have given things away. You notice that the clones have faded out of existence very, very slowly.
Thank you for saving us.
Of course, why would I not? I mean, she attempted to take what was mine.
What was she trying to take?
He looks over to Amber and says, "You."
Excuse me?
Well, I know it's a bit of a stretch, but you don't recognize your biological father?
Stop.
I'm sorry, my what?
Biological father.
How do I know that's true?
He looks towards Owen.
Owen's Zone of Truth.
I assume that Zone of Truth can be put up again.
Just
Give me a moment.
His name is Virag, DM?
Yes.
Virag.
So, well, are we just going to stand out here burning moonlight?
Well, I have a few questions. What did that thing want with me?
That thing didn't want anything to do with you other than to kill you. And I am nothing, that was attempting to take what was mine. You are my daughter, and I will not let her take it from me.
Oh, snap.
Very honorable, I must say.
I am flattered, but at the same time, I do not know who you are. I have never met you in my life. I was raised by Wizard Hawthorne. He was my stepfather, and he gave me a journal to find out about my true heritage, and needless to say, I'm a little shocked right now.
I understand. I had attempted to break it to you sooner, but I don't know what happened. There was a ward placed around Hawthorne Tower to alert me should you ever return. And when I got there, you were gone. That's not what happened. How did you get here so quickly?
It's a long story, but, basically, we were separated from our party, and Hawthorne left me his journal, and it led us here.
A little bit off the mark, but good enough.
Yeah, y'all go ahead if y'all have questions. I'm kind of wrapping my head around this.
So
You're not going to hurt the rest of us, are you?
Why would I?
Just a precaution.
I was going to say, what was it called? The creature that you had just eaten. She told us about how dragons have become feral. Are you an isolated incident, or are all dragons as intelligent as you?
Feral? What is she talking about?
She simply said they all gave up on interacting with humans and simply embraced their own wild instincts.
She said we were nothing but domesticated animals.
To some creatures, anything that walks on four legs is feral and a beast.
Rose says amen from the back.
Shush, peanuts.
Never.
We weren't trying to imply that you were feral. We were just saying that's what we had heard.
Well, that's the thing. There are two ways to analyze any statement. You can analyze it from the opposition being malicious or ignorant. I usually assume the latter.
That's very honorable. I feel the same way.
Any other questions?
Are there more of us out there?
Of course.
Why am I gold and you're white?
Oh, well, you get that from your mother.
Is she alive too?
His face looks forlorn, and he shakes his head.
What happened to her?
She died trying to save you.
Save me from what?
There was a raid. Green forest dragons on your clutch. I was around and we attempted to save as many as we could. We attempted to fight them off, but we couldn't save them. We couldn't save them all, and I couldn't save her. I could save one though. But unfortunately I couldn't take care of you. Here's the problem. I am a white dragon, and unfortunately I have natural inclinations that took me a while to get over. And unfortunately, we are not the best at being parents. So I did what any responsible parent could do in this situation, and entrusted you to someone who could take care of you.
You left me?
He nods sadly.
I go over to Ivan.
Amber.
I know why he had to.
So what now?
You. Honestly, we came this entire journey to find out where you came from, what you are, who brought you into this world, and exactly what your kind is like. It seems like this dragon here can give you all the answers you need, and whatever happens now is purely in your hands. But just know that whatever decision you decide to make, go with him, stay with us, go on your own and find your own answers. We're always going to be behind you.
I came a long way to find out what my heritage is about. But also, not just for myself, but for my friends too. I don't think you know the situation going on with my friends or my party. My friend Queen Jaminia is in trouble. Her throne is being threatened by a dark force. She and everybody here helped to protect me and those who cannot protect themselves.
For that, I am eternally grateful. And you need help
they
for
need
this. Unfortunately, that decision lies with dragons who are far more than I. But I can do what I can to attempt to speak to them.
If you could, that would be fantastic.
Yes. It's also warmer there. So if any of you are tired of the cold, we can head there.
That would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you.
He looks to Amber. I'm sorry I abandoned you. I wish I could have been a father to you, but it was beyond my power.
I understand.
I don't expect us to have a father-daughter relationship immediately, but he kind of has a sheepish smile. It would be nice.
Aw.
I might need a little time.
I understand.
There is one amongst our party who cannot be trusted.
Hmm?
She needs to be kept an eye on, but not harmed.
He looks towards Simula. Fair enough.
She's pregnant.
His eyes widen at that.
And I think you as a father can understand that.
That's fair.
We need to keep an eye on her, but we also don't want any harm to come to the child.
Well then, unless you have any more questions, I suggest we be off.
Just I'd like to learn. And I look forward to that.
Indeed. But I think you'll learn more from seeing and experiencing rather than telling. Some of us, and I know how it feels to have knowledge be out of your reach. And yes, I do know people of my kind who want to change nature. They want to break it down, turn it into something new. And while those intentions are noble, while those intentions are noble, a lot of times they create more problems than they fix.
Indeed.
And sometimes they do better. Sometimes we have saved species from extinction. So I'm not sure if this is one of those necessary evils or not. And I don't know, maybe if we learned more about the dynamics of how this area flourished, maybe we could do it for others. Say if we have an accidental forest fire, we could help with the restoration or something. And as a man of science, having knowledge out of reach is frustrating.
I can understand.
I feel the same way if I so much as see a book I can't read.
Anyways, sorry about my little rant there. It's just I get really excited about this. It's both exhilarating and frustrating, that valley.
Indeed. Well, my curiosity is certainly piqued as well.
Yes, but don't go in, please. Just don't. I don't know.
I'm sorry,
maybe
did I just see Murphy? Did I see a Murphy bird fly by my window?
All right. You head to NASA, and then at the end of it, you see. 1 minute, I gotta just real quick.
Ooh!
Oh,
Pee.
my.
Yes, you see that the plants have overgrown NASA.
Oh
The city is
my
completely
word.
destroyed.
Arden,
Cool.
does this
And he's got a wide-eyed expression, and he is shaking his head.
I'm gonna go with that.
Freaking
Hmm.
Murphy bird, I knew it.
I don't. I was only gone a month. What happened?
Knowledge nature, give me a second.
A month.
I
It
want to
does not
examine
take a
I want to
month.
examine the plant life and see how quickly they grew. Wow, really? Of all the times?
Well,
Ugh.
Well, Faith Learn, it's up to you.
Wham!
that's the one knowledge she bounds to you on.
Yeah. No, you didn't do much better.
Should
Well,
I
we're
roll
just not
knowledge?
paying attention.
Should I roll knowledge nature?
No. Do you even have knowledge nature?
I
Everybody-
sort of.
Roll an intelligence check.
I saw you typing something, Zach.
Oh, actually, okay, basic intelligence. 21.
Wow, okay. We all think.
Yeah,
I mean, that was pretty good for you.
that was pretty good for you, considering they got like plus 20 and plus 17.
Yeah.
for mod.
That's just basic intelligence.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, Phaethurin, you definitely detect that these plants have been magically grown, because it is impossible for something to grow like this in.
Yeah, I could tell that just by looking.
No, but I wanted to give the narrative forward. There we go.
Ooh, Arcana check. There we go.
All right. Oh, you're doing a knowledge arcana check. Give me 1 second.
Well, since, yeah, they're magic in origin. I mean, honestly, I might even consider doing like a spellcraft check or something, since plant magic
Yeah.
might be in my jurisdiction as well.
All right. Well, from your detect arcana check, you do detect that yes, this is something that whatever did this had to be very, very powerful, or at least studied for a very long time.
Yeah, even I couldn't do something this crazy.
Yeah, and Jalarin's logical deduction that this had to be planned.
Planned.
This had to be planned over a long period of time.
Like 1,000 years planting little seeds. Okay. Well, search check for survivors?
That would help.
Yes, let's see if there's anyone left alive here.
That would.
But be careful, and just for the sake of caution, try not to touch any of the plants, if you can avoid it.
I will
Okay,
try, I promise
thir-
nothing.
Okay, that's 34. Ignore the +4 for trap sense.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know the notes were a part of that.
Yeah, I didn't know
that's
that.
cool.
Now we know!
Yay!
We have learned.
Okie dokie. Well then.
Oh yes, I should click.
Well then, Jalarum, you start searching around, and you don't see anyone. You don't see two. You see like a corpse or two, but they're like buried.
Buried.
And you see that a lot of the buildings are being slowly choked and crumbled. And you see that a lot of the items, that a lot of like potions scattered on the ground or like weapons of steel are like in a pile, like they were placed there.
I'm very suspicious.
You're not the only one.
Also, Jalarum, you see a squirrel picking a small dagger up and putting it into the pile.
What?
Huh. Has nature rebelled?
Well, that would be my deduction, but
Is poison ivy here? What is this?
No. Poison ivy can't control animals. Please hold for 1 second. Oh, shoot. Oh, I was going to cast Speak with Animals and have a little chat with the squirrel.
Okay.
Let's just say I do that.
Yeah. To try and chat with the squirrel. What are you gonna say?
Hello, little fella. What? Can you tell me what's been going on around here?
Roll diplomacy.
On it. If I get another 1, okay.
Okay,
So
good. That's better.
Great, but it was something.
I slowly asked Arden. So,
Oh!
any enemies of NASA?
I see. Thank you.
What did he say?
Care to share with the class?
Destiny.
That's not good.
Yeah, It's slightly ominous.
Why do I feel like this was put on an ancient burial ground that we don't know of?
I don't think it's
Arden shakes his head. Absolutely not. This place isn't on any ancient burial ground. It's like there was nothing here. This was just placed here because the city only exists because there was a river here. You know, towns, rivers, perfect place to set up shop.
Is there anything? Wait, was there anything in the water?
Why would there be anything in the water?
Water is not just a place for human life. It's also a place for natural life.
Well, if that's the case, then Cord would have been destroyed too, which is also part of the river.
Well, when was the last time you were there?
Earlier than NASA.
Well, you mentioned some strange activity in the forest nearby. If I were to guess, I imagine that's linked.
Please don't tell me you're going to go in there.
As much as we don't want to go, but
no!
I'm sorry, Arden.
But I actually like you people. Look at that.
Arden, look at what is before us. Tell me how much choice you think we have. Unless you're saying we should leave this growth to consume the rest of your nation.
What? I mean, I'm not entirely against that, but I suppose it's not good for a lot of people.
It's Arden's looking back and forth and just sighs. I suppose you have a point.
Plus, if we figure this out, think of your name in the scholar books.
Well, that's not much of a motivation for me. I'm more of a. I'm not out for the fame or fortune. It's more like I like finding out the secret behind things, but I also like living.
Fair.
Well then, why don't you head back to the other town and we can You saw my scrying spell. I could scry with you and tell you what it is we find there.
All right. If you need I do know a little bit about this place, so if you need any tips, just call me, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Get out of here, Arden.
Thank you for your help.
Yes. Be safe.
All right. Well, yes, you too.
Before we leave, I'm going to look through that pile of potions and see if there's anything useful.
Is it wise to? Never mind.
Well, I have. If I were to gander, and this is slightly summation on my point, the potions and metal are probably gathered to get away from the nature. I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind if we at least take a look at what it is.
All right. You start sifting through the pile, and you notice that all of the potion's contents have been dumped out.
Of course they have. Well, I tried.
So this is all metal.
Metal, like.
I'm thinking to myself. Wait, these are all metal. What? And I'm just trying to think of the potions and manufacture.
Yeah, they're getting rid of things that aren't natural, I think. No offense, this is slightly my area of expertise.
Yeah, I figured.
I don't suppose there are any daggers in there?
You can take a look. I'm not touching it.
I wouldn't recommend taking it for yourself.
That's true. Never mind.
Okay. Well.
Alright.
I take one.
Javinia looks at you all and asks, "So what's the plan?"
I have no.
Anyone up for some hiking?
At this point, we may have to figure out what the heck's causing this overgrowth.
Indeed.
He said it started in that valley when the wolves came.
Yep.
What type of wolves are we talking?
So I guess
well, we'll find out when we see them. I mean, I suppose I could see if I could do a nature check to know what kind of wolves are native to the area.
Well,
of course, my last knowledge nature check was so wonderful. I don't know if that's going to.
It's what's gonna both suck and be hilarious. If you picked up the Faerthurn.
But yeah, I did all the ones. Let's find out.
I think that.
Oh,
never mind.
No, wait. You got my luck from the the Fire Elf trial.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anywho, so yes, what happens is you start thinking about what would happen, and you don't think that there would be anything too special about wolves being introduced to an ecosystem that would do this, because you're a druid. You know the balance of nature. You know the things that one part of the ecosystem affects the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, at introducing a wolf pack to the cycle of life, just balanced the cycle. There's nothing really all that magical about it. But then you amend that in your head. There's nothing that should be magical about that.
Right.
So it could be magical and it could not be.
Indeed.
But for all intents and purposes, it could have happened without it.
Fair point.
Yeah. Let us go look, shall we? I
I
don't
venture
feel like we're going to get much done standing here and thinking.
Yeah, no. Actually, Faye, hang on. Don't you still have the stuff for the mage armor materials?
Do I? Hang on, let me check my inventory. Equipment. No, I made it into a potion a while ago.
Oh, darn it. Alright.
Well, we can I can do a survival check if we're looking for herbs. Why
I don't
maybe-
feel safe taking anything from these plants until we know how.
You make
to
an
count.
excellent point, actually.
Great, it's the fire elves taking stuff from nature all over again.
It might be. It's hard to tell. But that's... I mean, caution to the wind, I suppose.
What was it you said, Jaminia? Leroy Jenkins?
Oh, for the love of...
The legend of... You know that... It's and I look at it, it's like, Leroy died. His final
Not
words
an
were...
example to live by.
He died, and his final words were, "At least I have chicken."
He must have been drunk off his rear.
Probably.
Well,
I'm just going to.
as much as I hate to say this, onwards and upwards.
Further up and further in.
All right. So what you are going to do is you are heading into the forest.
Yay!
Can't seem to recognize
Oh,
this
Rose is so happy. Music.
for this,
Giggity?
or do I have to? Or is this going to be a match armor class?
Yeah. It's actually got an attack. So let's see how it does.
Is it nice?
Excuse me.
Yeah, that is not enough for it.
Oh, okay.
It's thinking quickly. It attempts to leap onto you and go for your throat, but you kind of matrix dodge out of the way.
Nice.
Dude, I'm gonna start
you
calling-
immediately shoot back up, and you don't even know where that came from. You just blinked and like, did my body just do that by itself?
I'm gonna start calling you Neo, man.
It's like your body moved before you.
There it goes. Okay.
You see a place here with a large magic circle, and you see a man.
I'm afraid to step.
Can
I'm
you-
afraid to step in the magical circle.
He
Can
looks
you
like
hear me
this.
from here?
He looks like this.
Woo! Hey.
Washka Garul.
Arshka Garu.
I like that name. It just rolls off the tongue.
Can he hear me from here?
Yes.
Or has he seen us? I suppose I should ask that.
Check for
He doesn't seem
the.
to have seen you.
Maybe I should wait to blow our cover. Until
I
Faye's
want
turn
a
at
knowledge
least.
arcana check for the circle.
Knowledge Arcana check for the circle. You can tell that this magic, whatever it is feeding into the entire forest.
The blue wispinesses, I did notice.
And I assume the runes here and here are the ones that are attributing
There
to
are
it.
4 of them.
Oh,
Yeah, there's 2 up top too, but
Oh, I
it is
see
a
it.
magic circle, so yeah.
say I'm afraid to step into the magic circle.
Could I tell if it was safe or not?
You can tell that it's not safe to touch.
Okay, the circle or the
Well,
runes?
which part is safe to touch? This white glowiness or the
The white
entire
glowiness.
thing?
Okay,
Okay.
so I think we can work a way around it.
What do you guys think? Should I try to talk to him?
Yes.
At this point, well, we're,
I'm gonna greet him in Druidic.
All right. He finally notices you and walks over.
oh, are you moving the?
Yeah. So And he doesn't seem to be speaking. He's just staring at you.
Okay. Given the runes in this forest, I can assume you can understand me.
He nods.
Why? Why all this death?
You know exactly why.
I can understand and sympathize to an extent, but is not death against us?
Death is part of the cycle of life. Don't you even dare pretend that it's not.
Of course it is, but for a point. In that one kills creatures and plants for nutrition. This isn't nature, this is vengeance.
Vengeance. Interesting that you would call it that. Because do you not see the beauty around you?
No, I do. But I also see...
So why do you try to stop it?
Because I also see a senselessness in pitting ourselves against other parts of nature. There is beauty here and there is beauty out there as well. It's harder to see, admittedly, but it's there.
Beauty in... Oh, interesting. You mean the ones that'll try to destroy nature?
Do you accuse a child of the sins of the parent?
Do I accuse the child of the sins of the parent? That's the thing. I don't see them as sins. I don't even care about them.
What do you care about?
I care about improving nature. What I care about is making sure nature can evolve and grow and thrive. And these humans, these humanoids, all of these intelligent creatures, all they seem to want to do is destroy it. And the druids, all the other druids I've seen in this land, they enable it.
I can't say that you're wrong, that the druids could do more to educate, but understand that the human's desire is also for survival. We may not agree with their methods, surely, but survival is something that we can definitely understand.
And that's something that we can agree on. But it's interesting how hypocritical druids seem to be. We have all of these rules. Care about the laws of nature, protect the laws of nature, care about the balance. But do we truly treat them like they actually matter? Because if we did, we would actually adhere to the own rules that we make, and we don't. What about the law of natural selection, where only the strong survive? We ignore it. Oh no, because life, we must preserve all the species. We don't protect nature, we meddle in nature. We like to keep things nice and tidy, while trying to prevent the little things that make us squeamish, and I'm sick of it.
I see this as meddling with nature.
It is. This is meddling in nature, and I'm the only one that seems to admit it. I'm tired of keeping things nice and tidy. I am tired of pretending to be something I'm not. I am going to meddle in nature, because nature it's not all it's cracked up to be. There are things that we do not want to talk about, but we should. Like how animals can be just as cruel and evil as a humanoid can. Do you know why on farms we keep cows separate from chickens? Because cows eat chickens. Have you seen a cow eat a chicken? As the poor chick does all it can, chirping loudly even as it is ground and swallowed, still alive? Have you seen how every spring the white-tailed deer waits below the baby bird's nest, seeing if any of them will fly, and if they don't, the deer gets free protein? Have you seen a mother rat devour her own newborns?
Yes.
That is nature. These animals that we all say are so sacred, we go against nature's will when we step in and tend to them and protect them. To truly let nature have its way, it would slowly kill itself, where all that remained was a superior species that would eventually succumb to cannibalism and die out. But like every other druid on this planet, we step in and we break this chain. We cheat! Everything we do goes against nature.
The humanoids are different. They see things in lies. Because that's one thing that I believe animals hold above humans. Yes, they may be cruel. Yes, they may be heartless. But they're honest about it. They know what they are. They know what they need to do. They have no qualms about pretending they're something they're not. Speaking of, what are you? If you crave so much knowing that people know what they are, what are you? What are you trying to run from?
Run from? I'm not running from anything. You see all of this? I am a master of life. In fact, I've undone the damage that these filthy humanoids have done. All it took me was a few decades to undo it. You see all of this? The flora and fauna, bountiful and beautiful. This wasn't due to some laws of balance. This wasn't due to some godly intervention. This was me. I meddled. I did this. I brought life to this area. And if these filthy humanoids keep spreading like a disease, polluting the skies with all their fire and wars and technology, all of this beauty will die! And I will eliminate all threats to it. Are you going to let them?
No. But letting them and destroying them, there are intermediaries here. They are, as much as I'm not a fan to admit it, they are as much part of nature as any other creature. They may have some sort of high and mighty beliefs about where they belong on the food chain, but they are part of nature as much as any other animal. To destroy them is just as much against nature as destroying any other population of animals. I know they don't respect our ways. I know that perhaps they seek to destroy nature, but nature is strong. It has survived everything the humanoids have thrown at it. It continues on, maybe not in the way you think this is, and that this may be the only ideal, but there are other beauties in nature. The small things. The flowers that grow from the fire that they spread. The ways that nature can consume the things around it. In the smallest ways, nature still thrives no matter what these animals try to do with it. And yes, we help because sometimes things need help, and maybe we shouldn't help as much as we should, but as we do, rather, but I'm not entirely sure I see this as helping either.
You don't see it as helping? Use your eyes.
I see.
And I don't think you don't seem to understand how nature works. Nature is a constant battle, a game of constantly one-upping the other.
In a way.
Nature needs to improve. Nature needs to evolve.
By its own power.
While we druids meddle and cherry pick the parts that we like. And the funny thing is that we sound so right, we sound so perfect, that we've convinced everyone that surrendering your will to the whimsy of insipid hypocrites is what you ought to do. We've bamboozled everyone else into thinking nature is this sacred thing that can't be messed with, even though we mess with it all the time. I'd be impressed at how diabolical it was if it were intentional. And here's the thing. Nature, we are better. We are better than it. You think you're better than it. And don't try to tell me not. It's cute how the dumber the creature is, the more you seem to care about it. When did you last see spiders and cats discuss what is right to kill and what isn't? Oh, that's right. You decide for them. We don't want to protect nature. You don't want to protect nature. You want to control it. You want to own it. And the difference between you and I is that I admit it.
I want to be part of nature, and part of that is becoming a manipulating part of nature. Yes, that's how survival works. You manipulate your environment to suit your needs. What I see is not an advocate for nature, but a power-hungry, what are you, humanoid of some sort who sees himself as a god. This isn't flourishing. This is destruction.
Yes, it is destruction, so something can survive. It is destruction to prevent future destruction.
So you are then as humanoid as the rest of them, seeing yourself as above all other things and manipulating nature to suit what you see as more important, your own self-worth as being more important.
Don't pretend that you're better than that. I've been looking at you for a long time, and I see how your friends are even looking at you right now. They think you're their moral center. But I also look at you. They don't matter to you. I see it in your eyes. The amount of hate you have. You hate yourself, don't you? The fact that you share the blood of creatures that have violated this land so much, it burns you up. You hate yourself and you hate your friends, Rose. You hate them for contributing to destruction. You hate that they don't care about the family of squirrels in the tree that they chopped down. You hate not just your friends, but strangers or anything intelligent. You hate people you haven't even met. You'd rather slay a dozen human families before killing a herd of deer. And am I wrong?
Exaggeration. I hate myself. I am a humanoid. And that is a part of me that I detest. And I even agree with what you say about what the druids do and what I do as well. I protect those who I believe need help. And maybe I shouldn't.
You do.
There are things
you
I
do
don't.
What you want. You're no better than I.
there is a difference, and that is an extremity. I can understand where you're coming from, but this is out of balance.
Out of balance. Don't try to tell me about that. About balance. Who decides the balance?
Equilibrium is what we seek. This is too much.
Equilibrium. Equilibrium is what made this land right here die. And I brought it back.
The wolves.
Yes, the wolves were put here by me.
Well, then I thank you for that. I don't think anyone... I've heard the humanoids tell of the wolves moving in and how joyous it made nature flourish. One of them at least seemed very happy that it had happened. And that there were so many...
And then they wanted to touch it. Some of them came in here wanting to touch and break and destroy the things that they didn't like in order to make other things. These humanoids are threats, and it makes me nauseous to hear you protect them.
But some wanted to learn. We can't pretend that they're not part of nature. They wanted to learn and become part of it. There were those who sought to destroy it, and I understand. But there were some who sought to be a part of it, and you drove them away as much as anything else. There is a possibility of living in harmony with all creatures, all animals. They are animals. They pretend they're not, but they are. And they deserve our protection as much as any other animal.
Really? That's not what I have seen for the hundreds of years. All they've ever done is destroy. And as they become smarter, and as they become more intelligent, they destroy more. They spread like a disease, and I will treat it like these scientists treat a cancer. I will make every effort I can to cut it out.
But were you not simply talking about... There are those in humanoids who do strive to be one with nature, even those who are not druids. Those who live in forests, they don't destroy them, they can live amongst them.
And they turn away. They turn a blind eye when someone kills a den of foxes. They turn a blind eye when they massacre deer. They turn a blind eye.
Let me share with you what this group does in fact mean for me. When I first met them, the elf here threw a dagger and cut into the side of a blink dog that had done her no harm. The half-elf sought to sneak up behind a calmed spider to do it harm. Jaminia and I have also had disagreements. But I have taught them. I have taught them to value life by understanding. They understand that the things they've done are wrong, or at least were not the best actions to take. It's possible to educate. It's possible to reach out and touch the minds and hearts of these creatures and make them allies and not our enemies. That's why they see me as the moral center, because they trust in our beliefs. They trust that this is the right thing to do. For reasons I can't understand, they trust me. Is it not our duty to trust them back?
I walk up to Rose and put my hand on her shoulder. I trust you. You have mine.
Thank you.
Me as well.
How old are you?
Me?
Yes.
Much younger than you. I'm 15.
Wow. I'd like to say, you're 15?
Adults in human years. I know you guys are much longer living, but
Well,
we go through our lives
I
very
know.
quickly.
I have lived for a long, long time. And if that were, and I remember echoing those exact same sentiments that you have. But for the long, long years I have, these humanoids have proved me wrong.
Can I roll a listen check? Because I it's just on the some sort of magic thing that's happening.
Yeah, go ahead. I heard it too.
31.
You're good.
You hear you hear like some sort of thud growing in the distance.
Great.
Oh, great.
You want you want to keep the balance? You want to preserve everything? Fine. We'll play by your rules. Allow me to show you what would have survived if you had existed back before civilization.
Oh snap! I think I know what's coming! Josh, you